is extremely happy,
Mom,
very
can
resilient,
you talk in the microphone?
and his love for the Eagles, his love for the Mummers, so he loves music. He loves to dance.
Eagles mamas.
He actually loves playing golf with Daddy. He really loves the outdoors. He just really has a very happy personality with everything that he's been through. During our time in the pediatric intensive care unit, we sat there, and after everything that he had started to go through, we realized how mighty he really was. So we created a name for him called Mason's Mighty Spirit. In the beginning, during my pregnancy, we did have some concerns that were coming up here and there during ultrasounds. And throughout the pregnancy, every time that there was a concern, it ended up being ruled out. So by the time his birth actually came, we thought we had a perfectly healthy baby boy. It wasn't until he was 3 weeks old that he started to present with some concerns. When we got into the emergency room, they brought us back, and they started asking us questions about his health recently. And I remember one of the questions that stuck out was, how was his temperature, thinking they must be associating it with a fever, never understanding or realizing that he was going the opposite way and he was becoming cold. And at the time, they didn't know 100% what was going on, so they just called pretty much, it felt like every team that there was. I really felt like we were in a scene out of a movie, out of an ER series where teams were, I remember they asked me to step out. I was standing in the hallway, and I just see teams lined up waiting to get called in. And eventually they brought in the nephrology team, who told us that our son was in fact in end-stage renal failure. We were definitely in shock, because to us, our baby he literally had just urinated on the emergency room nurse, and we're like, this can't be possible. And of course, they're telling us that the last function to go in this situation is that, and that's the last time he ever actually did pee on his own. And I remember we went in and we just held each other and just cried. So scared. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if he was going to make it through a surgery.
The night, it was a rough night because his blood pressure was extremely high. And his other, all of his organs were shutting down.
When we first came home after our 3.5 months, it was still pretty bad. And his first 1.5 years of life was a struggle. I remember many times wondering, how much longer do I have to wait to call them before we got pulled back in? We monitored his blood pressure. He was on several medications. It felt like in the very beginning, it was every hour he was getting meds, because he was so little and he needed tiny doses, so they had to be spread out to be safe. It was difficult on the family, because where we really thought we had a newborn baby and we were a complete family of 5, we just had our little baby boy. Going out and just enjoying family and friends and being outside, going for walks, all of those things it just felt like they were just ripped away.
We were brought in for testing early on by the genetics team to see if we were a match. Our blood types did not match Mason, and we were crushed.
And from that moment on, we got scared, because we realized if we couldn't give to our son, how long would it take him to receive a kidney? And from there, our really close friend Allie had turned around and said that she wanted to test for him, because she realized that she was the same blood type. She went in, she started the process, and pretty quickly she had learned that she was not a great match for him. From that moment after that, she said, if I can't give him my kidney, I'm going to find him one. Thankfully, CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and University of Pennsylvania had teamed up, where it's not new for either hospital to do transplants, but the NKR was how we were able to finally find his kidney match.
So I tested for Mason in November of 2017, where I thought for sure I was a match for him. And then it turned out that I was not, and we were devastated. So I took to Facebook after Mom and Dad said that it was okay. We needed to get his story out there. While they were attending to him around the clock, I was trying to put together his Facebook page and get his story to anybody that would listen. We did whatever we needed to do to get it out there. I've sent it to every news station multiple times, and we finally got on Fox 29, and that was huge for us. We had billboards put up because that was big. We needed to be big, we needed to think big and outside the box. He was beautiful. He's a beautiful child. He has taught me so much in his 3 years of life than most people have taught me in their whole lives. He is happy. He is just a spitfire. He is Mr. Personality that everybody wants to know him. It was important to me, it is important to me to give this little boy, Mason, a shot at life. He has so much personality and he just needed a chance to live, to thrive. And if it was my son, my nephew, anybody in my family, a close friend, I want them to have that chance. I want to see this little boy go to kindergarten. I want to see him graduate high school. I want to see him get married. I want to see this little boy do all of the things that he was meant to do with such a big personality. He got the Cadillac of kidneys, fueled by my blood type in the National Kidney Registry. So it's a Bentley, right?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.
So we became involved with the National Kidney Foundation. We had learned that there was a walk, and obviously we wanted to support because of our situation especially, but we wanted to help bring extra awareness. We had another kidney buddy, Mason's little kidney buddy was also doing it. And unfortunately, the first 2 years that he was able to, he was hospitalized the first year of the walk, but we were finally able to attend this year, and we're so excited to be able to be there to just bring the awareness that is necessary for the situation.
They're a great family, and to know them the way that I know them through it all, it's just spectacular to be able to go through this journey with them.
Grandma, can I sit with you?
Oh, yes, you can.
So I just can't wait to see where he goes from here.
Thank you for my kidney.
You are so very welcome.
I go fly away to victory. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high.